It's about 8 o'clock. I have a tech video up for you. Doing a quick talk about some wheels and tires, which ones you want to pick, which ones are best for whatever you're doing drag, mostly drag racing. Let's go have some fun. Let's go talk about wheels and tires. Fucking do it, man. Right here, that's what happens. That's at 50 miles an hour, full throttle. So speaking of tires, so right now I've got the stock Pirellis on here, stock shit alleys, whatever you want to call them. Terrible. They're absolutely terrible. First upgrade you should do on your Mustang, whether it's a 3.7 or 5.0, is get a new set of tires on there, get a new set of skins, because these stock Pirellis are absolutely. Alright guys, so tires are a big topic of discussion. Really hard battle when you go online and you look and you're trying to find drag racing wheels. It's not show wheels, not cornering wheels, not 20 dub deuces, 24-inch rims. That's not, I'm not talking about that. You go online, you're looking for a good set of drag radials, get you down the track, improve your 60-foot time. There's a lot of choices. Alright guys, I had to stop for 1 second just to kind of clarify something real quick. In case anyone's confused, you don't know how it works. So if you hear a tire read off like 26 by 10.5 by 15, that's an inch tire size. More commonly applied to bias ply tires and slicks, which you're going to see when you go try and look those up if you're going to buy them. You're going to see sizes that are like 275, 255, 265. That's going to be your width first, and then your second number is going to be your sidewall height. So it's the opposite of the one other. So basically, inch tire sizes, we got height and then width, and then with metric tire sizes, you have width and then height. And then usually in the last number is always going to be the same. It's supposed to be your rim size, which is 15, 16, 17, whatever else you can put in the cars. Roughly a 10.5-inch wide tire is equivalent to about a 267 in metric. So if you have a 275 width tire versus a 10.5-inch tire, you're looking at a difference about 275 to 267 width. Height is obvious. 26-inch tire, so your 26 by 10.5 is equivalent to about a 267 15, given 15 is the same rim size. So if you move up to, say, a 28-inch tire, so you can already do a 28 by 10.5 by 15. What you're going to be looking at is a 267 by 60 15. So hopefully that clears up some stuff. Just to throw it. When you start out, you're going to be looking at different rim sizes, different tire sizes. It's all going to seem like a lot to take in at once, and you want to pull the trigger on something, but you don't know what you want. I was faced with this dilemma, obviously, when I first got into the whole drag racing thing a few years ago. Started out with my 07 Mustang, trying to get good times. I didn't know that you actually had to have the right wheel and tire setup. In my opinion, just what I've used, what I've seen from other people use, what I'm going to recommend to you is to stick with a 15 by 8. On a 3.7, if you're naturally aspirated, if you're not running ProCharger turbo, if you're not running nitrous, you don't need to get a 15 by 10-inch wheel. It's too big. Plus, which I'll get into later, you also have to do a sway bar relocation if you're going to do a 15 by 10. So it's much easier and it's much more efficient to stick with a 15 by 8. There's guys that have run plenty of good 60-foot times, 1.7s, 1.65s, all on that setup. 26 by 10.5 by 15, I believe, was pretty close to the tire that they were running. Which was basically a 26-inch tire on a 15 by 8 race car. So that's kind of what I mean by that particular setup, and those people run at times. So just to clarify that. You don't have to go with a 15 by 10 because you don't need that much grip. If you have a slick on the car, a 15 by 8 will fit a 275 width tire. Now the width is only half the battle. The sidewall is what's going to help you get more grip. If you go with a 50 or a 60, that should be decent enough for you to get the 60-foot times you want to get. A 50-inch tire with a 15-inch rim is going to give you roughly about a 26-inch tall tire. Now, depending on your gearing, that's one thing you have to pay attention to also.
If you want to keep your gearing high, say if you have 373s and you don't want to drop down to like a 355 or somewhere around there, then you're going to want to go with a 26-inch tire, which means a 15-inch rim and a 50 sidewall setup. If you have a stick car and you want to set good times, you're not worried about going to and from the track, get a slick, because you're going to pull your best 60-foot times on a bias ply slick tire. If you want to go back and forth to the track, not have to change your tires, then go with a drag radial. Automatics, you don't necessarily need a bias ply slick tire. And when I say bias ply, that basically means a slick, not a radial. It's a difference. So unless you're pushing a high stall converter, 4C, 5C, something by Circle D or whatever, if you're running a trans brake with that, a two-step, whatever else you got that's pushing you up the line really hard, maybe you want to consider a slick. But for the average automatic 3.7, you really don't need one. So on a Cyclone, a 3.7 naturally aspirated, 15 by 8, 275, 50 or 60 is going to be good enough. You don't have to go 15 by 10. Now, 15 by 10, it is a good choice if you're going to be running nitrous, ProCharger, turbo, if you're pushing more boost than naturally aspirated. More boost than it. If you're pushing boost, period, you want to go with a 15 by 10. Max out on a 15 by 8 at about a 275 width tire. Maybe you could stretch a little bit farther, but I'll tell you what, on mine, my tires were bulging, literally bulging. Now, yes, you can go 15 by 10. Again, drawback, you have to get a sway bar relocation kit. Now, if you get the kit from Late Model Restoration, which is the SVE kit, they don't offer a 15 by 8 anymore. A 15 by 10 is what SVE is going to offer. They're not going to offer you a 15 by 8. So if you get the tire and wheel package, which is the 15 by 10s in the back and 17 by 4.5s in the front, which is what I'd recommend if you're going to run front runners, then they're going to give you the sway bar relocation kit with it. Now, if you're semi-mechanically skilled, you can do it. It's not too bad. If you've never worked on a car before, have somebody else do it. You have to take the rear sway bar off. You have to cut the shock mounts just almost about in half, and you're going to mount up new plates, and those plates are where the new stabilizer bar is going to mount up to. It's not that hard. It takes about an hour to do, maybe less actually if you're more mechanically inclined, but overall it's really not too bad. But by sticking with a 15 by 8, you can avoid that. You don't have to do that. If you want to run a fatter tire than a 275, go ahead and do that. Then get a 15 by 10 inch tire. Now 15 by 10, you can run all the way up to 325, 335 most likely. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's my best guess on that. So naturally aspirated 3.7 Cyclones, 15 by 8 tire, stick with it. You don't need anything boost bigger. Applications, nitrous applications, all that kind of stuff. Run a bigger tire then go ahead and go with your 15 by 10. Again, be prepared to do your stabilizer relocation brackets, because that's going to be absolutely necessary. If you don't, that hopefully sums up anybody's tire rim questions, rim size, if anybody's not sure what you want to buy. That's my recommendation for a naturally aspirated Cyclone hitting the track. Again, stick cars, please stick with slicks. Automatic, stick with a drag radial unless you're really pushing more power. That's about what I got for you guys. That sums up today's Tech Tuesday. That's what we're going to be doing from now on. Every Tuesday I'm putting out a video for you guys talking about technical stuff, whether it's 3.7 or 5.0. I'll do a couple 5.0 videos as well too, but for right now we're going to stick with the 3.7 and we'll go from there. Next week probably talk about exhaust, long tube setups, do's and don'ts, which brands are good, which brands are not, and how to fix the brands that are not good and save yourself some money. So that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this little small short portion here and me driving around in the snow and not being able to do much here, but stick around. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you tomorrow.